Namaste Polska. Host Kushi Domnej. Dobre wieczór, meaning good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope this weather making your feet wet because from cold it just started raining in Warsaw for some reason. However, how are you all doing? I'm your host Kushi, and today I will talk about what I have learned about myself, including the reality that I needed to grow up. Today's broadcast is self-discovery, although it will be short as I have exams this week and must concentrate in the present with keeping the past as a reminder. So let's begin. From the day I arrived to Warsaw, I told you before, I did not had time to cry. I was so busy with blending myself into the new culture, weather, people, and language. I thought maybe if I cry, it will just become a habit. As being from a sophisticated culture, I wanted the freedom, and finally I had it. But obviously, it is not always how it sounds. It's much more difficult. Whenever I used to get hungry, very often that too, I will order my McDonald's. Some days it will be KFC, and some days pizza from Pizza Hut. I was not sure if there was Domino's in Warsaw, but now I know because I order only for special occasions. But trust me, if I knew back then, I would have ordered that too. I wanted to try new things, so I bought sushi one day to my place, and I thought okay, let's try something new. And I was trying to pick it up with the chopsticks. I don't really know how to use chopsticks before, so I was trying it, and it was hard for me. So I just used one of the chopsticks to just, take it from the circle and try to eat it. But anyhow, I managed to eat it. And I thought there are different types of sauces. I will just try one. And the green sauce, it seems a little bit nice. So I just simply, without anything, tried to pick up the sauce and tasted it. And oh, Christ, I ended up burning my tongue. It was wasabi, and I had no clue. But this is one of the tiniest things I learned. But later, I realized that this is not healthy, and I had to cook. So I asked my parents to give me some recipes of chicken curry, any other, which will be just easier to eat. Quick and easy cook. With all the Indian spices with my mother packed with me from India, I had to put them in a good use. And plus, I didn't have any value for money because I was using my daddy's money. So I continued buying it. Things that were not relevant. Everyone does that. But I was doing it way too often. It's money, it comes and goes sooner or later. I started to be annoyed with my responsibility, and I was just being irresponsible, being a teenager and all, but it was way too bad. So I just decided to cook at home and found out that cooking was not as easy task. Either I will cook it way too spicy or burn it. But this was just the beginning. Don't start with me with the laundry. It just hit me different. Days after days, I just tossed my clothes to the basket and realized I will be the one to put them to the wash. Because there's no mom on her way to help me and to clean the mess up. So I encouraged myself putting them to the machine and forgot them in them. After a day later, my roommate wanted to use, and she was the one reminded me. By the time the damn clothes started to stink and had to wash them all over again. My room was a mess also. I did not organize properly. This was the whole massacre of being on your own. I started to rethink my whole life. Being honest, I was not spoiled, no. But sure, I was not organized either. Back home, I used to clean my room once in a week, which was very okay for me. But then I realized that my mother used to keep the things back to its place every day. So I just cleaned basically nothing. But somehow the room was just clean. And come to think of it, I didn't value a home-cooked meal either. Reminds me of the best chicken my dad used to cook and my mother's tortillas, chapatis, well known. And I started to tearing up. I started to realize what a dumb kid I was. I'm sending special thanks to my mom and dad who are listening to this podcast, because if I was my kid, I would have rethink my choices in life. Anyway, so I just couldn't see destroying myself, and something has to change. So I plan to learn from YouTube. Modern days, kids learn smart way, or at least they find smart ways to learn in YouTube. You can pause and rewind and forward it whenever you want, and no one is yelling at you from behind and saying, you have to put this instead of that, and you get to know India has like a bunch of spices, so you literally have to just think so many times that if this is red color or if this is yellow or brown. And I didn't even know that there's some kind of hot spice which is burgundy color, and it has to put for the taste of it. It's strange, but I realized that later. Every single time there will be a ring in my ear from my father's voice, laughing and uttering the words that I told you so. He told me a million times to learn how to cook before leaving India, but I was way too notorious to listen to him. I was so dumb. Really, I did not understand that every single day I cannot eat junk. I will either gain weight or something might happen. But somehow I started to cook. I started keeping things to its place, which made the room less uglier. I told myself when I will go brush my teeth, I will vacuum the room so I remember things. Later, it just became a habit and I learned to keep things on its place. And vacuuming the room each day, and it started to remain clean. I also was taking care of my dishes after food. I used to just leave them on the sink and be like, okay, there would be someone else to clean it. But actually, I didn't thought that way. But, I forgot them. And I was living with 6 people, as I told you in my last broadcast. It was hard to maintain the tidiness in the kitchen because it's either someone else is cooking and then I will have to clean after them because they will just leave it at the sink, because they were as teenagers as I am, and I need to understand them to compromise. Maybe like you compromise with friends or family or maybe your girlfriend or boyfriend, but someone stranger living in your house, and that to 6 people, yeah, that's strange. So I learned to keep things on its place, vacuuming the room each day, and also cooking was a hectic task, so I resented it. So usually I will just order something from the Indian restaurant, and occasionally I would cook. Occasionally, yeah. But the biggest circumstance which made me change is when I missed my exam. Yes, I listened to the story first. It was time of exams and I had to give a polished writing skills. And speaking also, but it would be next day. And my friend Patricia, I talked about her in the last broadcast, offered to help, which she always did for the Polish exam. I know it is a cheat code. You should not copy, but no one is washed with a clean milk. It's a phrase. Like you're not really handed a silver spoon or something. So it was my first semester, and Polish is not my first language. And I tried my best to learn it. I was not good enough, or maybe I just didn't try. Also, I forgot to add something. My sleep schedule was messed up. I was staying up all night and will sleep in the morning. This I blame it to COVID, which will make harder for me to deal with classes, and I would also miss out some of my classes. And the day came when I realized either I have to grow up or go back home to India. My exam was on Monday, 11:40 in the morning, and I woke up at 12 in the noon. I was half an hour late, and I thought maybe the teacher will give me the chance to take a late join. But by the time the exam ended, and also bear in mind my friend was going to help me with the exam, so she was waiting, I somehow came up with a story of also weak connection and planned to call up a Uber. I got ready immediately. I was half asleep, went to the washroom, brushed my teeth, wore my clothes in a very, very rush, and went to my friend's apartment. But I wasn't lucky enough to get there on time, and my professor by that time, she was kind enough to email me back saying that I can retake the exam. And from that day onwards, I promised myself to never miss. No matter how least important the thing is, I will never be missing any opportunity. No, I will be late, but I will be present. Oh, it was tough time, guys. Although, guys, I think we need a break. And I want to keep you in a suspense how my attitude towards self-discovery is right now, in the present. So I would suggest you to listen to this Bollywood song. Be easy and be tuned.
रातें सुरंग सी बागी उड़ान पे ही ना जाने क्यों इलाही मेरा जी आए आए इलाही मेरा जी आए आए फलसफा कंधे पे मेरा बस्ता चला मैं जहाँ ले चला मुझे रास्ता बूंदों पे नहीं गहरे समंदर पे ओ, 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 इलाही मेरा जी आए आए इलाही मेरा जी आए आए जी जाए आए
Welcome back, my listeners. This song name is called Ilahi, meaning divine in English. And it's from the movie Ye Jawani Hai Diwani. English translated, this youth is crazy. A well-known actor, Ranbir Kapoor and Deepika Padukone, are starring in the movie. It is a movie between four youths, apologies, on a hike and finding themselves with new interests, love and friendship. I would recommend you to watch it. It's really amazing. All right then. Let's move forward with the understanding of my present attitude. I'm much more organized. I keep my place super clean, as some might also call it obsessed cleaning. I cook very often and I actually enjoy cooking. Since I was working in McDonald's before and I had to chance to work in Italian and Chinese restaurant. You must be thinking, why not Indian? And how I managed to work in this restaurant. That will be coming in the next episode. Relax, I will tell you all about it. But at this moment, I enjoyed cooking. So I saved a satisfactory amount of money, not spending outside. And I do sometimes become lazy to attend the class, but I manage to go to the class often and keep up with the work. In my first 2 semesters, my professor indirectly pointed things to me and my friend of mine that some students should pay more attention to their studies. And I told myself, I came here not only to goof around, but more importantly to study, or to say trying to keep up with my brother so I wouldn't disappear from my family tree. Ouch. Parents, that was a taunt for you. Well, I'm going to get, sweet talk from my parents after this podcast, but okay, I'll tell you all about it next episode. I managed to keep up with my grades, and my graph from first to fourth semester has increased drastically. And the same professor is very pleased with my consistency in studies. Although everything is in life makes you learn something new. And of course, you learn from the mistakes, but unless you overcome it by yourself, you won't be able to deal with the world. My relatives often tell my parents that how me, being so young, managed to live alone and teach myself stuff, believe me, wasn't easy, but always. Sometimes better to give yourself credit to keep on going with the life. There are still things I'm learning, and just like everyone else, I had ups and downs in my life. And I had terrible year of 2023, and I wish to never want to repeat the damn year again. But if I have an opportunity to go back in time and do a do-over, like the red pill and the blue pill, I don't think that would be a good idea, because that wouldn't be a lesson and change the person I am today. Self-dependent and independent, I would say, to know how to handle and deal with people, coming to a new country, dealing with challenges, culture, people. I think it's one of a kind accomplishment in yourself. Not that I'm wise, but would give you a piece of advice. I don't know how many of you are theists, but God will never give you a situation you can't handle. And if you get a problem which is harder on you, don't hesitate to open your arms to the problems and ask for help from your loved ones. Sometimes it's better to have someone around than being alone. Okay, guys, this broadcast has been heavy for me today, and I believe it's been the same for my sweet listeners. Let's wrap it up here and stay tuned for the next episode on friendship. Without friends, facing life's problem would have been much harder for me. You know what they say? A friend in need is a friend indeed, right? In next episode, I will share stories about how I met my friends, talk about chatting up new people, and sprinkle in a bit of romance. So stay tuned and groove to the friendship song Daru Desi, English translated, meaning local alcohol. It's a very cool song about friendship from the Bollywood movie Cocktail, starring Saif Ali Khan, Deepika Padukone, and Diana Penty in a romantic drama with a touch of friendship and love. Enjoy the song and see you next time. Do widzenia.